Libyan Airlines, formerly known as Libyan Arab Airlines over several decades, is the flag carrier of Libya. Based in Tripoli, it operates scheduled passenger and cargo services within Libya and to Europe, North Africa and the Middle East, the majority of which leave from Tripoli International Airport. Benina International Airport in Benghazi serves as a secondary base. The company is a member of the Arab Air Carriers Organization and the International Air Transport Association. It is wholly owned by the government of Libya. History. Early years. The carrier traces its roots back to September 1964 when Kingdom of Libya Airlines was set up in conformity with Law No. 22. The airline was government-owned, having an initial investment of 2 million Libyan dinars. It began operations flying regional routes in August 1965 using Such 210 Caravelle equipment. Following the carrier starting services along the Tripoli-Benghazi run, the Libyans prevented foreign companies that also flew the route from operating on it in order to allow the national airline to expand, absorbing Libya and United Libya Airlines operations. International flights radiating from Benghazi and Tripoli began in October 1965, initially serving Athens, Cairo, London, Malta, Paris, Rome and Tunis. The early years saw Air France providing the company with technical assistance, KLM managing the sales and reservations, and BOAC taking care of traffic, finance and communications. In March 1966, the airline and ATI struck an agreement for the lease of Fokker F-27 aircraft to cover short-haul routes, with the agreement coming into force on the 15th of June the same year. A third Caravelle was ordered in 1968. That year, a study to increase the airline's productivity was carried out by TWA, concluding that operating with 5 3-engined, 138-seater jet aircraft, and 4 propeller-powered 60-seater aircraft would be the most suitable choice. The report concluded that the lease of the turboprop F-27S was too costly, and the airline decided to acquire 2 new aircraft from Fokker in 1969. Regarding the jet aircraft, the Boeing 727 and the Trident were the only options. For the Libyan Revolution to the Libyan Civil War following the 1969 coup d'etat, the airline was renamed Libyan Arab Airlines, or Jamahiriya Libyan Airlines, on the 1st of September. The company suspended its operations for 2 weeks after the coup, with Beirut and Geneva already being part of the route network. By March 1970, 9 international destinations were already served. In August 1970, Libyan Arab Airlines ordered 2 Boeing 727-200s for $14 million US. These 2 aircraft were part of the fleet by May 1971, along with 3 Caravelles and 2 Fokker F-27s. 6 Fokker F-27s, 4 Mk600s and 2 Mk400s, were purchased in April 1974, and in May the same year, 3 additional Boeing 727-200s were ordered, aimed at replacing the Caravelles. In 1975, Libyan Arab Airlines was made the only operator within the country. Furthermore, the government committed to cancel their debts with the company on a monthly basis, and any losses the airline would incur should be compensated by the state. Also in 1975, the 6 F-27s ordered the previous year were delivered, and the 3-strong Boeing 727 order was partly fulfilled. filled when 2 of these aircraft were incorporated into the fleet. By April 1976, there were 12 aircraft in the fleet, including 4 Boeing 727s, 4 Fokker F-27-600s, 2 Fokker F-27-400s, and 2 Falcon 20s, a Boeing 727-200 and a Boeing 737 were pending delivery. 2 more Boeing 727s were acquired in May 1976. In August that year, the carrier took delivery of a Boeing 707-320C to be used by the government. The airline had 1,800 employees at April 1977. At this time, passenger and cargo flights radiating from Benghazi, Tripoli and Sabha to Athens, Algiers, Beirut, Cairo, Casablanca, Damascus, Jeddah, Khartoum, London, Malta, Paris, Rome, Tunis and Zurich were operated. During the year, the Tripoli, Frankfurt, Athens, Tunis, Casablanca and Benghazi, Rome, London routes were launched. The handover of 2 Boeing 727-200 advanced aircraft, due to be delivered in June and July 1978, was blocked due to concerns that Libya was supporting terrorism, despite the U.S. State Department initially authorizing the acquisition of 3 Boeing 747s and 2 Boeing 727s in March the following year. The transaction was blocked in mid-1979 over concerns the Libyan government would use the aircraft to transport military material and personnel, as there were suspicions that Libya played a role in the deposition of Idi Amin in Uganda. Also in 1979, a cargo subsidiary named Libyan Arab Air Cargo was set up. During the year, Madrid, Moscow, Sofia and Warsaw were included in the airline's list of destinations. By mid-1980, the number of employees had grown to 2,500, and Amman, Belgrade, Konya, Istanbul and Miami were added to the route network. Later that year, Karachi was incorporated as a destination. In May 1981, Libyan Arab Airlines ordered 8 44-seater Fokker F-27-600s in a deal worth more than £17 million. 10 Airbuses, 6 A300s and 4 A310s, were ordered in October the same year. At the time, Airbuses were equipped either with General Electric or Pratt & Whitney power plants, but the airline ordered Rolls-Royce engines to power them, something that had not been done before, as the former 2 were manufactured in the United States and there was a ban in force on providing Libya with technology that could possibly have military uses. The order was at least partly cancelled by Airbus, as neither GE nor P&W would provide the engines for the 4 A310s in the order book. The company had managed to buy a number of aging U.S.-manufactured jets, including Boeing 707s and Douglas DC-8s. Since 1979, many of them were either cannibalized for spare parts or sold. 3 Fokker F-28-4000s were bought from Fokker in 1984. At March 1985, the fleet consisted of 4 Boeing 707s, 2-320Bs and 2-320Cs, 10 Boeing 727-200s, 17 F-27s, 2 400s, 1-514-600s, and 3 Fokker F-28-4000s. Employment at this time was 4,500. Destinations served included Algiers, Amman, Amsterdam, Athens, Belgrade, Benghazi, Bucharest, Casablanca, Damascus, Frankfurt, Istanbul, Jeddah, Karachi, Kuwait, Larnaca, London, Madrid, Malta, Milan, Moscow, Paris, Rome, Sabha, Sfax, Sofia, Tripoli, Tunis, Vienna, Warsaw and Zurich, along with an extensive domestic network. However, the airline had to cut most of its international services that year due to a U.S. embargo imposed on the country. In 1986, 6 more F-27-600s were phased in. During the year, Libyan Arab managed to bypass the U.S. economic embargo against the country when the carrier acquired, through intermediary companies, ex-British Caledonian GE-powered A310 aircraft for $105 million. Owing to both the lack of spare parts and the inability of Libyan Arab to service the GE engines, the airline sold these two aircraft to Air Algérie in 1987. In practice, the aircraft were not sold but leased, and the Algerian airline would have operated these two aircraft on Libyan Arabs' behalf, but they later rolled back the decision amid concerns that the United States would take action against Air Algérie, and the two A310s were returned to Libya. Finally, British Caledonian was fined $1 million for its involvement in the deal, and Libyan Arab kept both aircraft, with Swissair training Libyan crews in order to fly them. Unable to order Western-built aircraft, the airline moved to Soviet-made airframers, ordering 3 Tupolev Tu-154 megaseconds in 1989. At March 1990, the fleet consisted of 5 Boeing 707-320Cs, 10 Boeing 727-200s, 3 Fokker F-28-4000s, 16 Fokker F-27s, 4 Lockheed L-100-200s, 21 Ilyushin Il-76s and 5 Twin Otters. Another drawback hit the carrier following the March 1992 United Nations Security Council Resolution 748, adopted as a consequence of the Libyan government allegedly having supported the terrorists responsible for the bombings of Pan Am Flight 103 and UTA Flight 772. The resolution saw a trade embargo imposed on Libya, which included the delivery of new aircraft to spare parts that could possibly boost the military capacity of the country, and Libyan Airlines was denied any landing or overflight rights of third-party countries. Thus, all international flights came to an end, and LAA could only operate on domestic routes. In April 1999, civil sanctions against the country were lifted. It followed Libya handing over 2 men suspected of being involved in the Lockerbie bombing, intended to replace an aging fleet of Boeing 707s, 727s and Fokker F-27s. A letter of intent worth $1.5 billion United States dollars was signed with Airbus in October that year. It included Airbus A320s, A330s and A340s. The fact that these aircraft had U.S.-manufactured parts once again prevented the deal to be firmed up, as a trade embargo over the country, imposed in 1983, was still in force, and Libyan Arab Airlines sought alternative manufacturers to acquire new aircraft for refleeting. Amman became the first non-domestic destination to be served again. Fleet and route network grew further when regional carrier Air Jamahiriya was merged into Libyan Arab Airlines in 2001. In 2006, the airline was renamed Libyan Airlines. The airline pursues an expansion policy, which is concentrated on European business and tourist customers. Newly introduced destinations like Milan, Ankara, Athens and Madrid have led to a route network similar to the one offered prior to the 1992 trade embargo. Libyan civil war onwards. As a consequence of the Libyan civil war and the resulting no-fly zone over the country enforced by NATO in accordance with the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1973, all flight operations with Libyan Airlines were terminated on 17 March 2011. The airline restarted operations in October the same year, flying the Tripoli-Cairo route. In April 2012, Libyan Airlines was affected by a ban that was imposed by the European Union on all carriers having an operator's certificate issued in Libya from flying into the member countries. The airline was removed from the list of air carriers banned in the EU in December the same year, as well as from the subsequent list released in July 2013. Despite this, as of July 2013, Libyan Airlines served the European market with wet-leased aircraft due to the Libyan Civil Aviation Authority voluntarily opting for a ban until Libyan crews become recertified. The voluntary ban will continue through 2014. No Libyan carriers have been included in the December 2013 version of the list of airlines banned in the EU, despite information regarding LYCAA's failure for meeting international safety standards that may lead to an effective ban. As of March 2014, an agreement between Libyan authorities and the EU to lift the ban seemed plausible to take effect by mid-2014. However, in December that year, all air carriers having an operator's certificate issued in Libya have been either banned or subject to restrictions in their operations into European airspace. Corporate affairs, ownership and structure. The company is 100% owned by the government of Libya. Since the 31st of July 2007, Libyan Airlines has been a subsidiary of the state-owned Libyan Africa Aviation Holding Company, together with Africa Airways. As of July 2013, the CEO position was held by Khalid bin Alawa. Business trends. Annual reports for the airline do not appear to be published. In the absence of these, the main sources for trends are press and industry reports. Proposed merger with Africa Airways. On the 31st of July 2007, Libyan Airlines became a subsidiary of the state-owned Libyan Africa Aviation Holding Company, together with Africa Airways. LAAHC is owned by the Libyan National Social Fund, the Libyan National Investment Company, the Libya Africa Investment Fund, and the Libyan Foreign Investment Company. On the 21st of September 2010, it was announced that the two airlines, which had already begun extensive code-sharing and set up joint ground handling, maintenance and catering services, were to merge by November of that year, which was later postponed indefinitely, though. The proposed privatization and merger with Africa Airways has also been postponed, despite the fact it was originally planned to be effective in November 2010. The two carriers were later expected to merge in late 2011. However, the Arab Spring and poor organization forced this deal to be postponed many more times. Both airlines are to merge by the first half of 2013. According to Libya's current interim transport minister Youssef El Ouachi, 12 to 13 months after negotiations are expected to resume in March 2012. The successful merging of the carriers depends on the government's ability to cut costs in both workforce and salaries, which rival European carriers in size. Destinations. Fleet. Recent developments. In order to modernize and expand its fleet, Libyan Airlines placed several orders with aircraft manufacturers. In June 2007, at the Paris Air Show, the carrier signed a memorandum of understanding with Airbus for 15 new aircraft, including 4 Airbus A350-800s, 4 Airbus A330-200s and 7 A320s. The MOU was converted into a firm order in December the same year, in a deal valued at around $2 billion. Also, In June 2007, Libyan Airlines placed an order for 3 Bombardier CRJ-900s worth $108 million, and took option for another 2 aircraft of the type, for an approximate value of $76 million. This option was exercised in January 2008. That month, an order for 4 Airbus A350-800s was placed. In September 2010, Libyan Airlines took delivery of the first of 7 Airbus A320s ordered in 2007. In October 2010, with 5 CRJ-900s already in operation, 3 more aircraft of the type were ordered for $131.5 million, and 3 more were taken on option. In late June 2013, the carrier took delivery of the first Airbus A330, becoming a new customer for the type. A second A330 was phased in a month later. In January 2014, the A350-800 order was switched to the -900 model, with the addition of 2 more aircraft of the larger variant, damaged aircraft during the Libyan conflict. In July 2014, amid the 2014 Libyan conflict, clashes between antagonistic forces that tried to gain control of Tripoli International Airport damaged and destroyed a number of aircraft parked at the airport, including ones belonging to Africa Airways and Libyan Airlines. In particular, 7 Libyan Airlines aircraft resulted damaged during shelling. Current as of September 2015, the commercial fleet of Libyan Airlines consists of the following aircraft. Fleet development. Over the years, the company operated the following aircraft types: incidents and accidents. Fatal accidents. On the 21st of February 1973 at around 14:10 local time, Libyan Arab Airlines Flight 114 from Tripoli to Cairo, which was operated by a Boeing 727-200, was shot down by Israeli fighter aircraft because it was thought to be a foreign military attack aircraft. Among the 113 people on board, only 1 crew member and 4 passengers survived the subsequent crash landing in the desert near Ismailia. On the 2nd of December 1977, a Tupolev 154, which was chartered by Libyan Arab Airlines from Bulgarian Airlines to operate a Hajj flight from Jeddah to Benghazi, crashed near Benina International Airport because of fuel exhaustion. The aircraft had been circling the airport because it could not land due to dense fog, and an alternate landing strip could not be reached in time. 59 of the 159 passengers died in the accident, whilst all 6 crew members survived. On the 22nd of December 1992, Libyan Arab Airlines Flight 1103, a Boeing 727-200 registered 5 ADIA, disintegrated on approach to Tripoli International Airport. The official government story was that it had collided with Amigo Jan Gurevich MiG-23 of the Libyan Air Force over Tripoli. Both aircraft crashed, killing all 157 persons on board the Boeing, but the 2 crew of the Air Force jet ejected safely, making it the worst accident in the history of the airline. Non-fatal incidents. On the 28th of November 1981, a Libyan Arab Airlines Fokker F-27 Friendship was damaged beyond repair in a forced landing in the desert near Kufra, which had become necessary because the aircraft had run out of fuel. On the 6th of June 1989, an LAA Fokker F-27 experienced an engine failure shortly after takeoff from Zella Airfield for a flight to Tripoli. A crew tried to return to the airfield but had to execute a forced landing in the desert instead, during which the aircraft was destroyed. The 36 passengers and 3 crew members survived the crash. On 7 December 1991, a Libyan Arab Airlines Boeing 707 crashed on takeoff at Tripoli International Airport. There were no fatalities among the 189 passengers and 10 crew on board. Military occurrences. Several aircraft of the company were destroyed on the ground in different war events. On 5 June 1967, during the Six-Day War, a Kingdom of Libya Airlines Learjet 23, which was parked at Damascus International Airport, was destroyed in an Israeli air raid. On 15 April 1986, a Libyan Arab Airlines Fokker F-27 Friendship was destroyed at Benina International Airport during the United States bombing of the airfield as part of Operation El Dorado Canyon. On 25 August 2011, during the Libyan Civil War, a Libyan Airlines Airbus A300-600 was destroyed during fighting actions at Tripoli International Airport. On 15 July 2014, a Libyan Airlines Airbus A330 suffered a substantial damage in the right-hand fuselage during the fighting actions at Tripoli International Airport. The aircraft is now stored for maintenance. On 20 July 2014, a Libyan Airlines Bombardier CRJ-900 was destroyed during fighting actions at Tripoli International Airport. Hijackings. On 6 July 1976, an LAA Boeing 727 was hijacked during a flight from Tripoli to Benghazi and forced to land at Palma de Mallorca Airport, where the perpetrator surrendered. On 24 August 1979, another Boeing 727 was forced to divert from its Benghazi-Tripoli route and land at Larnaca. On 16 October of the same year, a domestic flight from Hunter Tripoli was hijacked by 3 passengers, who forced the Fokker F-27 Friendship to divert to Malta. After 2 days on the ground at Lucca Airport, the perpetrators surrendered. On 7 December 1981, an LAA flight from Zurich to Tripoli was hijacked by 3 persons who thus wanted to press prisoners free. The Boeing 727 was flown to Beirut, where the perpetrators surrendered. On 20 February 1983, Flight 484 was hijacked en route to flight from Saba to Benghazi. The 2 hijackers forced the 727 to land in Malta and surrendered 3 days later. Also in 1983, on the 22nd of June, an LAA Boeing 707 was hijacked during a flight from Athens to Tripoli by 2 persons who demanded to be taken to Iran. During the negotiations, the aircraft was flown to Roman Larnaca, where the hijackers surrendered. Citations. Bibliography. Guthrie, Ben R. Encyclopedia of African Airlines. Jefferson, North Carolina, 28640 MC Farland and Amp Company, Inc. ISBN 0-78640495-7.